Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And today I would like to do an unboxing of a new tarot deck. Well, it's new to me. And it's called the Archangel Power Tarot. And this one has two authors on it, but the only author that still sells with this is Radleigh Valentine. And that's the one that I linked in the description if you are interested in this deck. When I say new to me, this was a gifted deck, and we'll just use this as a little bit of a educational time as well. With most gifted decks, because a tarot deck is fairly personal most of the time, especially if you only have one or two. If you do public readings, it's a little bit different, but you always have the ones that are your personal ones you keep separate. When you are gifted a deck and it has already been opened and handled, the best option is to do a simple sage ritual with them. You know, make sure that there's no bad juju. Not that the other person was bad, but it clears out their energy so it can work with you better. You can also use crystal. I completely just lost the word. A crystal grid around it for a few days. Just something to kind of reset the energy field around them. They're in most cases you don't have to worry too much about other people's energies, but something that I like to do whenever I get a deck, especially if it's been opened. And it's nothing, like I said, it's nothing against the other person. It just sets up the deck so that it can work better with you. So with that, we'll keep moving on with our unboxing. The little book, of course, there's a nice little book here. This one's a chunky little book. It's got almost 200 pages in this little guy. I mean, it's fairly hefty. And on the back of the box, it says, get answers and courage with the Archangel Power Tarot Cards. It's not enough to receive answers. You also need courage, motivation, and empowerment to take decisive steps based on those answers. Now you can receive accurate messages in a gentle way and to get the confidence to act upon them. You'll feel driven and move forward with positive life changes with the help of the archangels who guide you in the Archangel Power deck. So, I have too many things on my desk. This deck is arranged a little bit differently because I was glancing through the book before I opened it. Yeah, not fully rock green here, but they go through, instead of doing like cups, wands, swords, and coins, we use Michael, which I believe, when I'm look in the book we'll check, but I believe that would be fire, Raphael for air if they're using traditional terms, Gabriel would be water traditionally, and Ariel or Uriel would be earth, again traditionally. We'll have to see what the book says about them. But then they go through, and I like how this Radleigh's work always has an archangel ascribed to each of the major arcana, and for this one, the 0, the Fool card, would be Leap of Faith with Metatron, which makes sense because Metatron is the angel of our ascension and works with us on our to start off with. And once you get started on the path, it's not that he disappears, but he tends to show up most commonly in our lives when we're just starting on our spiritual journey and we need that little extra boost. Sometimes it's we need the straight up kick in the britches to get us moving. So that happens. So let's take a peek here how they work theirs. And it's interesting because it doesn't say specifically what their cards. The cards are unnumbered since it is tradition in the minor arcana and tarot. The minor arcana consists of 4 suits: Gabriel, Raphael, Michael, and Ariel. There are 14 cards in each suit, ace to king, similar to standard playing cards. Trying to see. Oh, this is a little bit interesting. They don't usually say this. It's also important to remember that the genders of court cards aren't meant to be read as hard and fast rule. In honor of this, we've made half of the pages and the knights female and half male. If you draw a card that happens to be a female on it, the personality attributes sound to you like a male that you know, then you should follow your guidance and interpret the cards accordingly, which is pretty cool. So they say the suit of Gabriel is known to be a patron of creativity as well as helpful and supportive guide to accomplishing goals. Gabriel was chosen for the first suit because it represents the aspects of our lives where we take action. Creativity and passion combine in order to empower us to make our dreams come true. Reflects artistic ability, careers, and the desire to develop and grow. Which is interesting because that would be a combination of fire and water if we're going to be honest with the elemental energies here. So let's hop back here to the next suit. Raphael motivates us to accomplish many wonderful and exciting things. We reach out and touch the world with our hearts. Suddenly life becomes all the more worthwhile. The suit of Raphael is about falling in love, getting married, and having children. We cherish our families together. We're born to them or we choose them later. Dreams, hopes, deep desires are found in this suit. This card also relates to the development of expression and psychic abilities and intuition. We choose the Archangel Raphael to represent this suit because of his history of heralding love and important relationships. So Raphael would be a mixture of water and air. It's interesting how they set this deck up, I will say. As I said, I was glancing through it and I was like, this is a unique way of looking at things. Michael, the spark of human intelligence has brought us many wondrous and amazing gifts. Our minds can also cause us to worry unnecessarily and fall into fear. The suit of Michael represents our ability to think our way clear of challenges and to soar to new heights. Communication, speaking our truth, and freeing ourselves of our illusions. Archangel Michael is here to represent this suit because of his role as protector and guardian. So we got a little air, fire. Okay, we're working with that so far. So that would have to mean we have got to have some earth in here somewhere. The suit of Ariel deals with our physical world. These cards deal with the daily part of living, so this is definitely earth or pentacles or coins. This deals with physical health, pursuing education, careers, and the planet on which we reside. For this suit, we've chosen the Archangel Ariel because of her magical powers to manifestation and her love of the world's animals and environment. And I'm using the word her in that respect because that's what they have, but just so you can work with it however you want. Ariel is the more feminine, Uriel is the more masculine. For all intents and purposes, the same angel. I've only seen variations in that once or twice, so that's how I look at it. But now we'll just hop through the major arcana here. We had the Leap of Faith with Metatron, which is a cool card. The Magician with Archangel Raziel, and I like how they have the Magician actually wielding the magic there in his hands. And there's an angel standing behind him too. The High Priestess with Archangel Haniel, kind of a standard High Priestess deck or card there. Oops. And the back of these cards is pretty cool. You almost can't read them in reverse because that is the back of the card, and that would be the reverse. So it's pretty obvious that they're an upright deck, which I'm okay with too. Number 3 is Archangel Gabriel, the Empress. And then we have the Emperor with Archangel Uriel. And we're also popping over here to number 5. They use this one as Divine Guidance with Archangel Sandalphon. It's interesting that I have kind of a Pope-looking face with this, or description with that one. Or image, sorry. The Lovers with Archangel Raphael. And Raphael standing back behind like little Cupid, which is pretty cool. Oh, we have the Chariot with Archangel Metatron, speeding things along here. And they have unicorns. A black and a white unicorn is pulling the Chariot. You don't see unicorns very often unless you get a unicorn deck. Justice with Archangel Raguel. Some of these are pretty basic, just with angels. Epiphany with Archangel Raziel. Then we have the Wheel with Jeremiah. And I like how they made this wheel not just some random wheel. It is a functioning wheel. And the wheel in this aspect, when you look at it, it's a water wheel. So this is bringing water to an area. It could be used to irrigate fields. It also could be used to generate electricity of some form. It could be used to power a mill, to grind wheat. That wheel, out of the decks that I have of tarot cards, is probably the more functional one, which I do appreciate. Number 11, the Strength. This particular Strength card, that description of the line with the maiden, is pretty common in the Radleigh decks, and that's not a bad thing, but you can always tell when you have a Radleigh deck by this certain cards. Number 12, Perspective with Archangel Power, which is kind of the Hanged Man, changing your outlook on life. Peace is number 13 with Archangel Azrael, which this would be your death card in standard tarot. Number 14, Solutions with Archangel Zadkiel. And then this is another one of the fluctuations, because this would be the Devil card in your standard deck. Number 15, Decisions with Archangel Jophiel. And I like that they made it a little bit dark, but there's like an aspect of dark beauty to it. It's not just kind of doom and gloom or the jester evil look. It's that more playful version. Change Your Life with Archangel Camael. Again, kind of looks like the city of Oz from The Wizard of Oz. The Star with Archangel Jophiel. And we have the Moon with Archangel Haniel, which I like the little puppy. I don't know why I get drawn to the little animals in some of these pictures, but I do. So, number 19, the Sun with Archangel Uriel again on the unicorn. Except for this would be the alicorn, because it's a winged, I think it's a winged unicorn, maybe? I don't know. New Beginnings with Archangel Jeremiah, which that pretty much screams new beginning to me. Like, that's an amazing way to illustrate that card. And the World with Archangel Michael. So that's your basic minor arcana. I feel like there might be a card missing. Let me check. Nope, that's it. So that's the major arcana. And we'll go ahead and just kind of flip through some of these randomly. So the Ace of Ariel, whoops. And then just cut the cards once. The Eight of Ariel. And yes, I will shuffle these up and we'll do a quick reading. We'll do the Ace of Gabriel, which I like that one. It's kind of a wild, nature-based thing. The Seven of Gabriel, definitely got some movement going on there. Some changes, weathering a storm kind of imagery that's coming through. The Ace of Raphael, and again, we're seeing that water cross over to air. And we'll take the Nine of Raphael, making wishes and dreams come true. Again with the puppers. Like me to puppers. We have the Ace of Michael. And then we also have the Six of Michael. Kind of looks like we're overcoming some obstacles there. Now, once we get through the basics of the deck, we just ask the source of all life and beauty to bless the cards to show us answers for a demonstration for today's reading. And we start to shuffle. It's always interesting when you do a new deck that you haven't fully separated all of the arcana or all the cards apart. So you're just kind of letting the cards bring forth the answers that might come available, but not sticking two cards together type thing. Sometimes you'll get 2 or 3 cards in a shuffle, but in these particular instances, you don't want to take 2 or 3 cards because you're just going to get a cycle of 2 or 3 in the same exact suit. And sometimes that happens organically, but with a new deck, that's not usually the case. So, so we pulled 3 little cards here. We'll take a quick peek and see what messages come through, if we need to check the books or not. Kind of see how chatty this deck is. We have the Knight of Gabriel, confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. Time to take action, great passion for a cause, instinctively knowing just what to do. Really, this one's saying you have the divine guidance. You have your protector. Gabriel is there with you to help you understand the things that are not, maybe not surface level understanding, but that's also what triggers the confidence and that courage to take those next steps, as it says on the card. But what this card is really bringing forward in this moment when this card shows up, you're feeling a push, you're feeling driven to accomplish and to achieve. And so this is the time, your signal from the universe that is, whatever it is you're working on, it's really time to amp it up. Take those next steps, start promoting it a little bit more. If you have had that website set up but it's hidden, maybe it's time to click go live on it. However that manifests for you, but it's definitely the time to amp up what you've been working on with when this card shows up. We have the Four of Ariel. When you give, you also receive. Being resistant to change, extremes in how you spend and save money. So like I said, this one's definitely works with a lot more your earth energy. When we're talking about giving and receiving, it's actually the same energy, because when you're giving something, someone else is receiving. When they're giving, you're receiving. So the energy is just a gigantic circle, or you could see it as a figure 8, the eternity symbol, if you would like. And when you're offering things, you have to be willing to accept things. Not always the easiest proposition in life, we'll just say. And when you're being resistant to change, it's because you don't know how to receive the new that's coming in. And extremes in how you spend and save money ties into this, because when you're saving money, you're investing in your future. You're investing in yourself. A lot of metaphysicians and new age gurus will talk about living in the now, which is super important. When you live here, you need to be here. But it doesn't mean you can't plan for the future. And when you're investing your energy and time into that future state, it allows that future state to be brought in a manifested form much quicker and easier. So you live here, but you kind of toss things ahead, being like, so this is what I'm doing right now. I want to adjust it that way, so I'm going to throw this investment forward. But we also have to understand that when you throw those investments, those ideas, those giftings forward, because most of the people that I know are really good at giving, but are not that great at receiving. And it's kind of that awkward thing of like, do I deserve this? That's not the point. You're being gifted it. Quit acting like that, you know? And the Four of Ariel's coming in to say, knowing when you give, you also receive. If you want to invest in your future and you really want to build that future that you're looking towards, then it's also time to stop being so resistant to the change, because you can live in literally the same life for decades, but keep hoping, wishing, and dreaming for something in the future. But if you're not willing to invest, spending, and saving wisely in that future self, you're never going to achieve it. So that's kind of the energy that's coming off the Four of Ariel. And then we have the 10 of Gabriel, and I did shuffle these cards. We have ask your angels for help, for helpful people to lighten your load, working too many hours, trying too hard to please others. This one almost hits a little too close to home. With the 10 of Gabriel, we're talking about this ability to know your limits, and that doesn't mean that you have to put yourself in a box, but your physical form, this meat suit we all wear, it needs rest periods. So does the brain, the computer that runs between our ears. It needs rest periods, and that's when knowing the right people to ask for help. So you're asking your angels and your guides for help in bringing the right person on board to assist you. Or maybe saying at this project that you have at work and it's a little overwhelming, but you don't want to appear weak. You're not. If you're just struggling with the project, asking for some help or guidance is not a bad thing. But you also have trying too hard to please others, working too many hours. In the world we live in today, we have a lot of people telling us that, oh, you need to just manifest it and then work less hours. Those are cool ideas, and it is possible. The trick is you have to be able to spend the time on setting yourself up to get into that state where you can work 4 hours a day and still pay all your bills. That takes some time, and it takes a shift in our perspective to achieve that. And like I said, when it hits a little too close to home, I'm a workaholic, so I have a day job, and then I come home at night and do my night job, which is this type of work. So I totally understand that, and it's one of those things where you'll come to a point where you have to decide, which is more important? Is it my health, my sanity, and my well-being, or is it proving myself and how many hours I can push myself to do. Because when you go that direction, from personal experience, you miss out on family events, you miss out on relationships, you miss out on all sorts of things because you're so dedicated to working and proving yourself, only to find out at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. 17 years in one job, and one day they just decide you're done, and you have nothing to show. So don't get so wrapped up in having to go to work that you forget to have a life. So with that, we'll let you guys go. Like I said, this is kind of a fun deck. I'll probably start incorporating it into some of my monthly readings. And when I start doing that, I'll probably add it to my list of decks that I will use for personal readings on my website if you're interested in those. Otherwise, we will let you guys go. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video.